Another movie famous as the Cross-Eyed Mary one, is it? Yeah, based on that.
It's nice.
Okay.
Well, like it.
That's a good one. Now, and the audience got a quick question for Grandad here. Who's the hand mic got? Who's got the hand mic? Who's got the hand mic? Okay, give it to this chap in the front, because he's got a deep and difficult question for me to answer, and I may have to ask John what the answer is. Go ahead.
It's about thick as brick.
Yeah.
I'm actually writing a thesis on English rock music in the 60s, 70s. Yeah. That's for master. So for literature, I've decided to do it on English music instead because I like it better. So, and I want to.
Let me just stop you there. Did you actually? You did this as a thesis on, but did you actually pass? Did you get your qualification?
I'm actually writing it now.
You're still writing it now?
Yeah. So
I'm very honoured that you would choose to do that. But, frankly, you've got no chance. Why not do something so difficult and confusing? Why not do something like anthropology or gynecology or proctology? Something with a little more feel to it. Music is so diverse, it's so diverse and so weird. But I'm glad you're doing it, but it's going to be difficult because you're going to be dealing with such a narrow specialist subject. Are your tutors going to share your love for obscure English music?
well, actually, he's quite interested, and I'm not a teacher as well.
Oh.
So I'm lucky because two teachers are actually interested in it.
Okay.
So yeah. But the thing is that I wanted to know exactly thick as brick. In one term, it was just playing with the concept album thing, because Aqualung was themed a concept album. Then you wanted to play with that and make a proper concept album. But in what term was it like what you put it into it? I mean, to choose talking from this child perspective, if it was serious, some of it, or was it just making fun of everything? Because I think some bits are quite personal. I thought some bits were quite moving, like Where Were the Beatles Last Saturday, things like that. I think These passages, I think, are quite
Okay, well, it began really as a bit of a joke, you know, to have a little fun with the idea of the concept album prog rock genre. So yes, I was making a little fun of some of our peer groups like Yes and Emerson, Lake and Palmer and the early Genesis and King Crimson. So I was having a little fun with them, but as is often the case, once you go into the route of parody and humour, it's a very good comedic mask to wear in front. It's very invitational. It draws people in because you're just being a funny guy. But behind that lies some serious stuff, and then you find there's all these opportunities to bring people into your orbit, and then give them something pretty sharp and nasty. So a lot of Pick as a Brick has dark elements to it, and it is about the trials and tribulations of that trip from childhood into being a young adult. I mean, it's difficult. And you know, you asked the question about how much of me do I put in. Well, there's a little bit of me in there, because I remember what it was like, you know, waking up in the middle of the night with a wet dream and going, scary stuff. Happened to me last night, funnily enough. But this is the sort of thing that makes it very difficult to pass through these difficult years of puberty and becoming a man and having to deal with adult thoughts and adult emotions. It's all very confusing. And you inherit some of the stereotypes and the conditioning that you've grown up with, like the English public school system, like certain aspects of society that are fairly rigorous and maybe kind of right-wing. So I was challenging those sort of emotions and feelings that I had as a child and using it to write songs with. So, you know, it's kind of 50% fun, 50% kind of joking, 50% serious, and I think in a way that echoes what a lot of people will remember from their own lives growing up, and you see that through the fictitious character Gerald Bostock, who supposedly wrote the lyrics to the original Pick as a Brick album, and of course he didn't, it was just me, although he's credited on the album covers having written it, but strangely he never gets any royalties. Neither do I. They all go to the inland revenue in our dear and beloved country, where I pay something like 55% of my income in tax. Although I was very briefly once a Swiss resident, courtesy of Claude, who helped us all find a little moment of happiness in Switzerland back in 1972. We did actually get Swiss resident status, but I think all the guys in the band just thought, wait a minute, you know, this isn't just about saving money. You know, we're from a different place. We should go home and pay our taxes. And so we did, and we went back. Back then it was 83% of personal your income went to the tax authority. That was a big, big hit. But, you know, we did it for ethical reasons, because it was something, you know, we thought we should do that. I mean, we're from England, just running away like Rod Stewart and other people who left the country to you know, it didn't seem to fit. So we did the honest thing. We went home and said, here's the money. I was starting to think that I'm a good guy again. Horribly wrong. I'm not a good guy. It's just that I would rather not go to jail. Anyway, good luck with your thesis, young man, and you know, I hope it works out. And,
thank you very much.
And you get some useful insight into the world of English and weird and wacky music. We'd better move on, because we're keeping you up from your early bed, I can see. And let me see what happens next. We've got to that bit where, oh yes, I get to introduce our other guest. Our other guest actually is a proper jazz player, and she shares with David Goodyear, our bass player, the ability to talk in very strange jazz terms that I frankly don't understand and don't really want to understand. My wife actually said when she met Linda, she said, oh, you play plinky plonk music. Which is a pretty good description of jazz, plinky plonky. and Scott Hammond is a jazz drummer too. He and Dave are common jazzers, so Linda's going to come up and join us, and she's going to do something with those guys. It's kind of her own composition, and genuinely this piece of very fine jazz music, informed by a lot of ethnic qualities, and also in the sound of her flute playing, which I thought was actually a wooden flute when I heard this on the recording you sent to me. First of all, I'm going to play a piece of music which is one that I wrote for a friend of mine, classical flautist by the name of Andrea Criminelli. He's a protege of Sir James Galway, and Andrea, being a good-looking Italian stud, is You would think someone who would be lucky with the ladies, but when I met him, he was actually very unlucky. His beautiful girlfriend had left him at the time. He was very, very sad. And she left him, so it said, for another flute player. And so that made it even worse. And poor old Andre was down in the dumps, and I thought I'd write Andre a little tune that we could play together as a duet, and that would make Andre happy again. So I wrote this very sad dirge called Criminelli's Lament, which had the complete opposite effect and sent him into a spiral of despondency and tragedy, from which he only recovered recently when he finally found the woman of his dreams, got married and had a baby. So Andreas Criminelli's Lament is now turned into Criminelli's Happiness, married adult life. That's the nice warm spin we put on this otherwise dirge-like piece of music, which kind of Celtic music meets classical